This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hurricane Matthew has already claimed 3 lives as it sets its sights on the Caribbean. 250 miles above the storm, cameras outside of the International Space Station captured views of Matthew. Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and Jamaica are preparing for its effects, from torrential downpours to dangerous winds. The United States is also carefully monitoring the storm. Florida and North Carolina in particular. Governor Rick Scott and North Carolina Governor Pam McCrory have already declared states of emergency in preparation.
If Matthew directly impacts Florida, there will be massive destruction that we haven't seen in years.
Our goal is to be over-prepared and hopefully underwhelmed.
The State Department has warned Americans in the path of Matthew to leave. 700 military family members have already been evacuated from Guantanamo Bay. And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan has been closely monitoring this storm. So let's get the very latest now on Hurricane Matthew. Bob.
Well, I'll tell you, once again, some interesting things have come out of the National Hurricane Center on the latest advisory, which just came out over the last few minutes. The storm is strengthening. Top winds now up to 145 miles an hour, gusts as high as 165 to 170. It's a big storm, too, with the winds, tropical storm force extending out 185 miles from the center, mainly to the northeast and to the northwest. On top of that, the hurricane force winds of 145 miles an hour are about, actually the hurricane force winds all the way up to 75 miles an hour, are 40 miles out from the center. So this is a big storm. It continues to slowly move toward Haiti, and unfortunately, that means they can expect over 3 feet of rain, causing life-threatening mudslides, and it's already starting to rain there right now, and it's located just to the southwest of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. And here's the latest: 145 mile an hour winds. Its pressure has been dropping this evening, means it's intensifying somewhat. And the next advisory comes out at 2, but this is the forecast motion and path that it's expected to make landfall sometime in the early morning hours on Tuesday, then continue to the eastern portion of Cuba. And then notice that big turn. This is the other news that's happening. It continues to move to the west. The cone of uncertainty now includes a good chunk of Florida. And the National Hurricane Center over the years doesn't really make these moves unless they know for certain that there is going to be this west to northwesterly bend. So they're probably hedging their bets a little bit even, but it could be even further off to the west on the next advisory coming up at 5. So definitely tropical storm watches and hurricane watches more than likely will be issued for Florida tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. And the reason why, more than likely, is that the high pressure ridge that's driving this is going to get a little stronger once this trough pulls out of here. On top of that, this is another tropical system which has a 60% chance of developing, and that is moving off to the west-northwest, kind of bumping this high pressure ridge off in that direction, which is going to cause, we think, again, Matthew to move more toward the northwest. I want to show you the models here one more time, and then we'll get to our weather real quickly. You can see a lot of them now are on Florida, with the majority of them hugging the coast. The worst case scenario for Florida would be for it to just hug the coastline and stay out over the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf Stream right there, very warm water temperatures, and that's what drives the system. So we'll have to keep a very close watch on this. If it continues to move west, we will have a much bigger impact here along the Sun Coast in terms of rainfall, and not the Category 4 or 5 storm, but certainly we could see some strong winds. It's been raining heavy here, and I tell you, we have under a flood advisory until 11:30. More heavy rain anticipated for tomorrow. Some of the rainfall totals have been quite impressive, over 3.5 inches over Anna Maria Island and nearly 4.5 to 5 inches. In fact, it has been in Northport and near Port Charlotte. More on your weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Vice President Joe Biden fired up at a campaign event stumping for Hillary Clinton in Sarasota. Biden was emphatic in saying that Florida holds the key to the election. He told the crowd that Donald Trump won't win the presidency if he loses the state. The vice president spent a lot of his speech going after Trump, including on foreign policy. And on the issue of taxes, Trump responded to an attack by Clinton in last week's debate by saying avoiding taxes makes him smart. Biden had some words in response.
Says, I don't pay federal taxes, possibly for 18 years or more. And then he says, that makes me smart. What does that say about my father, who busted his neck 70 hours a week, making sure that we had food on the table, making sure the neighborhood was safe, making sure that he was doing his part? Dangerous
Biden asked Florida voters to do their part in this election by voting, since the state has been won by notoriously small margins in past elections. Some Suncoast voters we talked to at today's rally say there has been a concerted effort to get people registered and to the polls this year. We asked them why they're supporting Hillary Clinton.
She's the only person I've seen in this and many other elections who can handle this probably better than anyone else.
Hillary can do a lot of things in reference to looking at our economy, but also looking at the environment in which we are surrounded in this beautiful Southwest coast. I think she has a vision that will have a team that will look at that, but also I think what's really important is children and families.
The two men vying for Joe Biden's job, Tim Kaine and Mike Pence, will square off in the vice presidential debate tomorrow night at 9 p.m. and you can see it right here on ABC7. Hillary Clinton also continuing to hit Donald Trump on the details of a tax story from the New York Times, while the Republican nominee weighs in as well. ABC's Lana Zach has the latest from the campaign trail.
Hillary Clinton is hoping that an endorsement by LeBron James will help her with Ohio voters.
I am truly honored to have his support.
Campaigning in the Buckeye State, Clinton hit her rival Donald Trump on his bankruptcies that she says hurt small businesses.
I can't imagine having a president who believes that that's the way you're supposed to treat people. But you're going to help me make sure he never gets near the White House.
She also hammered Trump on the New York Times report that the Republican nominee may have avoided paying taxes for nearly 2 decades because of big business losses in the 90s.
Here's my question. What kind of genius loses $1 billion in a single year?
On the trail in Colorado, Trump fired back, bragging about how he used the tax laws.
I have legally used the tax laws to my benefit and to the benefit of my company, my investors, and my employees. I mean, honestly, I have brilliantly used those laws.
Trump didn't confirm that he didn't pay taxes, but previously he had scolded those that didn't. Here's Trump on Hannity in 2011.
That's the amazing thing, is that half of the country is paying nothing, zero. And even if you don't make a lot, you should have to pay something, just something, to be a part of the game.
According to a new Quinnipiac poll, Clinton and Trump remain nearly tied in several battleground states, including Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Ohio. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
And it is a busy time for politics in the campaign trail coming through the Sunshine State. President Obama plans to visit USF in Tampa on Wednesday and discuss the Affordable Care Act. Elections officials in more than 20 states, including Florida, have requested help in blocking any potential cyber attacks that could interfere with the election. That's in response to reports of attempted breaches into several voter registry databases. Officials say the election system is so complex, it would be extremely hard for someone to affect the outcome. But Sarasota and Manatee County supervisors of elections are making sure to stay on top of the issue.
We're on top of it. Homeland Security is on top of it. The FBI is on top of it.
We're just going to be cautious of it. We're watching. We have not seen any incidents at all.
Election supervisors across the state will begin sending out nearly 2.4 million vote-by-mail ballots beginning tomorrow. Here we go again. Tensions between the city and county of Sarasota may be on the rise again. Last time it was differences over the homeless issue, and this time at least one taxpayer is so disappointed he thinks it's time for the county to take over all of the city operations. ABC7's Ray Collins is joining us with the latest on this dispute. Ray.
Haley, at issue is whether the county owes the city $4.5 million. For the past 30 years, since 1986, Sarasota County has written annual checks to the city of Sarasota to fund downtown improvements. But then the county decided it wasn't going to renew the 30-year contract. If that didn't cause enough city-county tension, there are also differences in whether or not the county owes one more payment.
The 30th payment? Is this rocket science?
Local resident Matt Sperling did not hold back when he heard about this dispute.
We need lawyers to figure out if we have paid 29 or 30 times. Dysfunction.
Monday, city commissioners discussed options as to how to get that disputed $4.5 million from the county.
We can't keep second guessing and maybe they won't like us or something. We just need to be strong.
It's too much money to just sit back and say, oh, well, we're afraid that, you know, we might not be able to get along with the county. I mean, I don't think it makes a difference one way or the other, you know.
Commissioners voted unanimously to take the next step toward getting the money, but it might not be easy. An assistant county administrator gave us this statement. It said in part, the downtown CRA sunsets in fiscal year 2016, which ended September 30th. This has been stated in several previous resolutions approved by both the county and the city of Sarasota.
The city of Sarasota sued the county on other issues before, and we still travel down the road.
And while the city hasn't ruled out suing the county, this taxpayer is furious.
I think the question for the city commission is how are they going to come in front of the voters and keep us from simply joining the county, being unincorporated. They seem perfectly happy in Casey Key and Siesta Key, lowering our taxes, and a bunch of people in City Hall lose their job, just like in corporate America.
So next time in 2 weeks, the city discusses a resolution to send to Sarasota County, Haley.
And Ray, if that doesn't work, is suing the next option?
Well, there's still a so-called government conflict resolution option first, and the city hopes it doesn't have to go to the next step you just mentioned.
All right, thank you, Ray. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the official Suncoast forecast and the latest on Hurricane Matthew. Plus, what's driving up the murder rate this year in Palmetto? And date night plus Pokemon Go, how it all ended up in an arrest for a Sarasota man.
What does it mean when New South Window says factory direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct prices.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month, complimentary maintenance included. At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPV.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku.
Well, Bob, this is a strong one.
Yes, the biggest one of the season. And all of a sudden, it was a weak season in terms of energy generated by these tropical cyclones. And now it's going to go on record probably as one of the strongest seasons just because of this one storm.
Of this.
Yeah, it's been a Category 5 for over, 4 days now. Category 5 storm, or not 5 storm, but a major hurricane, I should say. It's been going through a 4 and a 5, 5 Friday night, but then 4 over the weekend. Here's what's going on with us. I want to show a good looking photo. This one here was sent in over the weekend from Saturday night. Linda getting this shot. Beautiful, kind of framed nicely too with that arch. And then this today, different story. And this is what we're looking at. Water spout that was shot from this vantage point from Boca Grande looking off into the Gulf of Mexico. Very thin one at that. But nonetheless, this is what you can get with showers and storms moving in all different directions into the Gulf of Mexico. And Lakewood Ranch webcam showing you basically a lot of clouds around this afternoon. We had some sunshine earlier today and a lot of rainfall at times. In fact, more rain fell in some areas than we saw with Hurricane Hermine. That's right. Northport reporting over 5.5 inches of rainfall there just today. And notice all this moisture here. This is all that tropical moisture, which is still working in our general direction. So the biggest concern for us will be over the next couple of days, not so much Matthew, but so much the flooding possibilities here. There are some flood warnings up now for some of the rivers and streams around town. In fact, there's still a flood advisory, an urban flood advisory in effect for South Sarasota County. You can see the good news is, though, that the rain has come to an end temporarily, and we'll look for just some light rain to linger in places across Sarasota and Manatee counties. I mentioned those flood warnings for the Manatee River at the Myakka Head. There's also a flood warning at Horse Creek into DeSoto County, and this one, again, the Myakka River at the Myakka State Park, a flood warning in effect through Saturday, and that's in anticipation of much more rainfall over the upcoming days. I mentioned over 3 to 5 inches of rain near Anna Maria Island, also causing some flooding problems on Holmes Beach there earlier today, right around high tide in Northport, Port Charlotte, all the way down to Punta Gorda, up to nearly 6 inches of rainfall over the past 12 hours, and looks like more on the way for us tomorrow afternoon, mainly in the afternoon and evening. 75 right now. There's some high clouds, debris clouds left over from the earlier storms. The relative humidity 90%. We have an east wind at 7. The pressure 29.89 inches. That's coming up a little bit from the earlier reading today. 89 the high with the sunshine this morning. It did warm up a couple degrees above average. And as far as rainfall goes, this was taken earlier at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport automated system. We are now past 3/10 of an inch there at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. Temperatures have cooled down actually into the mid-70s now, and lower 70s in places like Northport, Arcadia, Myakka City, all at 73 degrees. Currently, the Gulf of Mexico at 86 degrees, so still very warm water out there. And as far as the overall picture goes, this is a driving force. The trough of low pressure over the deep southeast and into the Gulf of Mexico will split up. One will move off to the northeast while the other heads to the southwest. That will allow the high pressure to expand to the east of Matthew, which will cause it to possibly move more toward Florida down the road. And you can see what's going on. This is that trough of low pressure. Part of it's going to head to the west and southwest while the other is going to lift off to the northeast. That will allow this high pressure ridge to build in, which will drive then, it looks like, Matthew more toward the northwest after about a couple of days from now. Here's a look at this impressive storm system, and the pressure has actually dropped 6 millibars. And what that means is that sometimes it takes a while for the wind to catch up. The winds are now at 145. This could go back to Category 5 status before it makes landfall, unfortunately, into Haiti, and it's going to cause all sorts of problems there. It's moving to the north at 7. The pressure is down to 934 millibars. There's the forecast path and track right through the central Bahamas where there are hurricane warnings up. No warnings yet for Florida, but I think that will change tomorrow as a watch more than likely will be issued if this trend continues. And the trend has been for this cone of uncertainty to drift west over the course of the past 12 hours. So the next big advisory will come out at 5 a.m. and meteorologist John Scalzi will have more on that tomorrow morning, so you want to tune in for that. Even the spaghetti models are shifting west. The GFS is moving west as many other models. The UK Met, we talked about that earlier, which is the United Kingdom meteorological model, and that is showing a coast of the east coast of Florida kind of a movement there. And that's terrible because if it were to stay out right on the water and just kind of skirt along the coastline, it wouldn't lose its strength too much, and it would just continually hammer all of Florida on the east coast. So that could be a potentially dangerous storm. 89-degree water temperature here, too. So this is going to be still a major hurricane, even in the southwest Atlantic, even though it may get beat up a little bit by Cuba and obviously Haiti. We feel for those folks there in both those countries. Jamaica being spared a little bit, but it's still going to be dangerous there as well. Seas 1 to 2 feet with a light chop out there. Northeast winds at 10 knots. Water temperature still very warm here, 86 degrees. And we're expecting a lot of clouds tomorrow, especially in the afternoon. And then the low tide will be at 9:45. The forecast tonight, strong storms, probably not, just some light rain, but we could see those storms back again tomorrow afternoon and evening. Then for tomorrow, some clouds in the morning with some sunshine, and then more clouds in the afternoon with another good chance for storms. In the extended forecast, this is all under scrutiny here because, things may change here, Haley, as we move on through the rest of the week, depending upon the future movement of Matthew. Back to you.
As we know very well, it's never decided until right up into the time, so stay tuned here with Bob on Facebook and on air. Well, another homicide investigation is underway in Manatee County. Sheriff's deputies say they have found 18-year-old Alexander Anderson on 1st Avenue in Palmetto shortly before midnight. Investigators believe he was shot. There have been 15 murder cases this year in Manatee County, the same as all of last year. One county resident who has organized several marches to encourage rallies against violence says that law enforcement is important, but change starts with the community.
We're not going to give up on that. We're not giving up. That's where it's, that's where it's at because, silence is violence. It manifests itself to where the community is crippled.
No information on a suspect has been released in this latest homicide investigation. A Pokemon Go date ends with a Sarasota man facing felony drug charges. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies arrested 20-year-old Guillermo Cava Nunez after they say they smelled marijuana in a parked car at Urfer Park around midnight. The car belonged to Cava Nunez, who says he was meeting with his girlfriend to go play Pokemon Go. Deputies say they searched his car and they found Xanax bars, marijuana, cocaine, and other drugs. And a Nokomis man is arrested and charged with trafficking in methamphetamine. Sheriff deputies say they stopped Jonathan Whitford after discovering he planned to travel from Bradenton with an unknown amount of drugs. They found more than 23 grams of meth in a plastic bag that has a street value of around $2,500. The FWC is out with its report of the April 15th attack at the Palm Beach Zoo. That's where Stacy Conweiser was killed by a tiger. Conweiser had entered the tiger pen to prepare for a presentation. The report says safety rules were violated because Conweiser did not ensure the animal was locked up before she entered. She was also supposed to have pepper spray with her, but did not. Zoo officials tranquilized the tiger rather than killing it, fearing that a bullet could ricochet off of the enclosure and strike Conweiser. The 38-year-old later died at the hospital. The report says the zoo itself did not violate any state regulations. The all clear has been given to the 2 remaining Suncoast beaches that had been placed under a no swim advisory. Health officials lifted the advisory for Turtle and Nokomis beaches today. They say test results came back and showed that bacteria levels meet federal and state standards. All advisories from last week have been lifted, although red tide is still affecting area beaches. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's not just organizations, but also businesses that are ramping up efforts to raise awareness and funding for research. Orange Theory Fitness in downtown Sarasota donated $5,000 from every, $5 from every participant. Wouldn't that be great? 5,000. This was in the fitness classes, but there were a lot of people there, so it did add up. One fitness coach told us today that raising awareness should matter to everyone.
You turn to your left, you turn to your right, inevitably you're going to find someone who is going through that cancer process or is a cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor.
The doctor said, "You have breast cancer." And I was stunned because I never heard of breast cancer in men.
According to the CDC's latest numbers, which are from 2013, more than 230,000 women and 2,000 men were diagnosed with breast cancer in the U.S. From 1-0 to 1-3, we'll hear from head coach Dirk Cutter on the Bucs' latest loss and preview their upcoming matchup with hopefully better results against Carolina. That's next in sports, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
Let's get together to watch this.
This is my pure and simple outfit.
Is your pure and simple?
I just want you to know I'm not smuggling Matt Damon in here. This is all me.
Good. We won't have that happen again.
I'm Ray Collins. Wastewater in the Siesta Grand Canal. More than 3 million gallons released, and residents say they want answers.
Tomorrow on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts. And 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today for deals worth celebrating during the Jeep Celebration event. Come shop the area's largest selection of Jeep Wranglers or check out a new Jeep Cherokee priced as low as $19,999. Stop by to see the stylish new Jeep Renegade starting at just $17,699. Or drive away in a new Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Christmas Traditions by Luxart Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Luxart Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Now, sports.
When the Bucs opened the season with an impressive victory against the Falcons, it put them at 1-0, the first time they had a winning record since 2012. At the time, we said enjoy it because here we are 3 weeks later and the Bucs are 1-3. It was another disappointing performance from Jameis Winston and company, to say the least, in yesterday's 27-7 loss to the Broncos. The reigning Super Bowl champs picked off Winston twice and still had success on offense after their rookie quarterback, Paxton Lynch, came into the game in place of the injured starter. Today, head coach Dirk Cutter reiterated what he has been saying this season about committing turnovers.
We can't put our defense in that position, and we're hurting ourselves. We're just not playing good complementary football, and being minus 9 on the turnover ratio for the season is killing us right now.
Next up for the Bucs, the reigning NFC champion Carolina Panthers, who are 1-3 themselves and will be looking to win big at home on the national stage. But they could be without MVP Cam Newton, whose status is uncertain after the quarterback suffered a concussion against the Falcons yesterday.
It really is tough to answer the questions, guys. It's hard. I don't want to say something that would go against what the trainers are saying, or the doctors for that matter. So I just kind of wait and go from there.
The Bucs could also be without a star player. Doug Martin is already dealing with an injury, and Gerald McCoy injured his calf yesterday. It's unclear so far how long he will be out. As for this Monday night, the undefeated Vikings are hosting the 2-1 New York Giants. The Vikings have a 24-10 lead with less than 2 minutes to go. Florida Gators head coach Jim McElwain says quarterback Luke Del Rio will practice this week and could play Saturday when the Gators take on LSU in an SEC battle. Del Rio has been sidelined the last 2 games with a sprained left knee. UF went 1-1 without him. The playoffs are set in the MLB, starting with the wild card matchups. Remember, the wild card game 1, it's just a one game they have to play in and win this game to get into the rest of the playoffs. The Orioles will go north of the border to take on the division rival Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Then on Wednesday at 8, it is the National League wild card matchup between the Giants and Mets. The winner moves on to face the Rangers and the Cubs, respectively. No postseason for the Rays, but they did at least close out their 2016 campaign with a win. After Alex Colomé blew the save in the 9th against the Rangers, the offense quickly responded in extra innings. 2 men on with no outs in the 10th. Richie Schaefer scores from third on a wild pitch. Same at bat, Kurt Casale slaps one just fair down the third base line, bringing home another run. The Rays win 6-4. They finished their season 68-94 and will have a high pick in next year's draft. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight lotto numbers straight ahead.
The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Hasbro's latest creation is definitely an interesting one. The company is now selling lifelike robotic dogs that bark and turn their heads in the direction of a person talking. Hasbro previously put out a cat version. These pets are designed to keep people company, particularly children or the elderly who may not be able to care for an actual pet. Some studies suggest that nearly real pets, I never even heard of that, a nearly real pet, but they can provide companionship like true-to-life animals. A seal robot designed in Japan is actually used as a therapeutic tool in hospitals and facilities in the U.S. And they probably don't even shed.
You don't have to walk up, you don't have to worry about cleanup. Yeah, it's all good.
You don't have to pay for food.
Sounds good.
Might trade in my dog, sorry. No, I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. Have a good night.